Ini mau ketemu gitu, misalnya itu kenapa? Pada satu jenis bagian bawah sarwa karma sedame ciptane Sri Angkoro Banggawan sarwa tetap berbangun dan berbawa semaya semaya mana pakai pada satu tidak Baca satu semaya mana palaya baca satu jenova tidak tidur bawa sebuah kayu bawa dalam tu sebab yang seragam masuk dan isi yang penggawaannya serat dan ketemu betul mana bersama terbawa mas satu semaya mana palaya baca satu jenova tidak tidur bawa sebuah kayu bawa dalam tu ini perayaan seragam wajib dari Senior Banggawan seragam tetap berterbangan mencapai terbawa mas semaya satu bantal satu semaya mana pala yang pada satu tinong bawa seragam ini perayaan seragam wajib dari Senior Banggawan dan seragam tetap berterbangan Masamaya satu batar satu semaya mana palaya batar satu jenova tidak sedang dibawa sekolah bawa naruto bawa salah satu diperintah salah tentang siang salah saja tempat terbangun betapa bersama semaya satu batar satu semaya mana palaya batar satu Sarvat itu nibarayaka sarva karma sudame yang boro kandang sarvat itu ketem patermane minta pater bawa ma samaya satu
iron. Banggawannya sarang tentang ketempat terbang samaya satu samaya mana palaya pada satu bawah itu anaratu di bawah sarang itu palaya sarang tane yang turun banggawannya sarang tentang ketempat terbang samaya satu banggal satu samaya mana palaya pada satu Kita sering yang kalau bagaimana sarang kita pada mas antara satu sama yang di bawah di bawah sarang di bawah Sarang tentang berterbangan sama terbawa mas samaya satu samaya mana pada yang pada satu jenak tidak benar bahwa sebab kaya anak rotu di bawah sarang di periyata sarang umat tani siyong tentang berterbangan sama terbawa mas samaya satu samaya mana Doa di bawah, di bawah, dalam di bawah, sarang di bawah, sarang kamar sedami, yang banggawannya sarang tentang ketempat terbang, sama terbawa mas samaya satu samaya pada satu anak rotu di bawah sarang di periyatan sarang yang banggawannya sarang tentang kami mencapai terbawa samaya satu 수정난 한지가 있을때라 와다린데 동지도 방법 어떤 것이 또 영화 주스는 계속 따라서 나눠서 나요. 달로 용 맞고 달로 연습을 했다든지 속속 양없지만 파워가 그냥 산 떠다지도 영화를 이렇게 자지 고급 역할을 했었는데 그러다니가 용기 더 나오고 떠났습니다.
To begin with, here today, His Holiness is saying that he was invited to come here by Drupchen Rinpoche actually some 5 or 6 years ago, but it wasn't until this year that he had the opportunity to come, and this is primarily because the temple was completed and it seemed like the opportune time to make the trip out here, according to Rinpoche's request. And so this is why he has come. And he's very happy to have the opportunity to come together here today with everyone and to meet everyone and share this event. First of all, since His Holiness was requested to give refuge vows, this is what he will do first, is bestow the vows of refuge. Now the reason for taking refuge is basically that it is the distinction of whether one is a Buddhist or not. And so to become a Buddhist means that one must accept and embrace the vows of refuge. Now in Buddhism we have 2 basic vehicle divisions. We have the vehicle of the lower or lesser spiritual pursuit, the Hinayana, and then we have the greater pursuit, the Mahayana. Now the basic difference is the motivation itself. And when it comes to taking refuge, the basic motivation is, in both cases, the renunciation of cyclic existence and the wish to be liberated, to be set free from cyclic existence. So this is the motivation that we must have. Now, cyclic existence, korwa, means the experience of simply revolving or rotating in and out of the 6 classes of rebirth. Now, of these 6 classes of rebirth, even if one is reborn as a god or a human being, although there are periods of happiness, they too are exhausted. And we might think that if we're reborn as a god, then it's truly a blissful rebirth. and very happy, but one day it will be over. And when it is over, the suffering of knowing that it is over is unbearable. And like that, wherever one is born, in any of the 6 classes, the nature is suffering. It really leads to only one thing, and that is discontent. That's the nature of it. Recognizing then that wherever we are born in these 6 classes of cyclic existence, the nature of that experience will be discontent or suffering, then the Hinayanas would develop a sense of fear towards the 3 lower realms in particular, the hell realm, the hungry spirit realm, and the animal realm, and have a very strong wish to never be reborn there again, and take refuge with that intention in mind. And this is basically the path of the Hinayanist. The Mahayanist, on the other hand, is afraid of all 6 classes of rebirth and wishes to be free from rebirth in any of the 6 classes. Now, to have this thought, to be free from rebirth in the 6 classes for oneself alone, is really not sufficient for the Mahayanist. However, if we really think about it, then basically we do think of ourselves first. Even verbally, we would say, if I die, I don't want to be afraid at the moment of death. And mentally, we also think, when I die, I don't want to be afraid of what's to come. We think about what's going to happen to ourselves. This is a natural thing. However, for a Mahayanist, it is really not suitable to only think about oneself. A Mahayanist will not be thinking only of themselves. They will think of all sentient beings. And the reason is because at one time or another, over the course of all of our countless past lifetimes, each and every sentient being has been our own father, our own mother, many times over. And yet, it is difficult for us to believe or accept this because we can't remember our past lifetimes just now. And so we can't remember the great kindness that these parent sentient beings have shown us time and time again. But in fact, it is true that this is exactly what they have been to us. They've given us our life. And since it is so, we must consider all sentient beings to have been kind to us as our own parents in the past.
Namji karchap simcham gecham yoti simcham chikcham mali pa roa tukko tukwapli torwap shagi chekto tetani ni capsun ro yen samji kulhong se da simcham na kulhong to das chekku yores.
According to the way of the Dharma, then we consider even our worst enemy is also our father, our mother, because they have been that in the past. So temporarily they appear to be our enemy in this life, but we recognize that in fact they have been extremely kind to us in the past. And so by focusing upon that, we should consider all of our enemies and our mother and father and all sentient beings on our right, left, and in front of us, that we are surrounded by all sentient beings without exception who are equal and who have been kind to us. And with the motivation to free all of them from the suffering of the 6 classes of existence, we should aspire to take the vows of refuge at this moment with the purest motivation to set all sentient beings free from the suffering of cyclic existence. This is the manner for receiving refuge. The object of our refuge it has different variations according to the 9 vehicles. There are actually different ways of considering the objects of refuge. But putting all that aside and going straight to the point, to cite an example, if we have an enemy who is causing us harm and we're afraid of that enemy, we're afraid for our life, we would look to someone who could protect us or help us from that enemy, to save us from this fear. So, for example, that way of thinking, when we apply it to the spiritual path, in order to really learn how to accomplish the spiritual path, the Dharma, we need a guide. We need a guide because we've already established the fact that psychic existence is a place of suffering, and we're afraid of psychic existence because in a future lifetime, we don't know where we're going to go. If we have no practice, no awareness, we can be reborn in the lower realms, in the hell realm, animal realm. We have no way of knowing where our next place of rebirth will be. And so we're afraid of that state of not knowing. Yet to only be afraid and have fear is of no benefit. That's just a perception. We need to find an object that has the power, the potency, to actually show us the path and give us true protection. And according to the path of Buddhism, the object is threefold, the three precious jewels: Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. And it is certain that Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha combined have the full potency or strength to show us the path that leads to liberation from the 6 realms of psychic existence. And so, knowing this, placing our hope and our expectation in these 3 jewels only, so that we place ourselves below their protection and their refuge. This is the way that we should view our objects.